host is not longer.
No, we'll have to do the host.
Thank you for the double role.
All right, mic's working. Very good. So welcome to this second day of South Summit on the Sandbox stage. It's a great program event, so thank you for getting here early this morning. And yeah, we're kicking off with a talk today with David Villaseca, Digital Transformation Director at Cepsa, and we're going to be talking about revolutionizing energy innovations in the transition to a sustainable future. As we embark on this journey, we're going to delve into the innovations that are revolutionizing this sector and taking us towards a sustainable future. So, David, just to start off, people might think there is some irony about an oil and gas executive up on stage talking about a sustainable future, but tell us why you're here and why people should trust fossil fuel companies like yours are trying to do the right thing.
That's a great question. Thank you, Tim, and thank you for the invitation. In Cepsa, we are focused on accelerating the energy transition. I think that we are all in this together, and we need to accelerate our common journey to decarbonization. And I think that you are hitting the nail. I mean, in Cepsa, we are one of the fastest energy companies investing on this decarbonization journey. And to show an example that we are not talking about greenwashing. We are talking about transforming our own business. And for example, in Cepsa, we are not going through this idea of being net neutral. We are talking about being net positive. And for example, in our new vision and strategy, which is called Positive Motion, we are betting that by the end of this decade, we will have half of our business, our EBITDA, coming from clean energies. So this is really, we are betting on this transformation. And for example, we are reducing our own Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions by 55% by the end of this decade. So this is the real effort. And we are not just working on our own transformation. We are helping our customers, whether in B2B or B2C, to accelerate their own transformation. So I think that these are some examples that this is real. And in digital, we have launched a new digital plan just this year. And we are betting that digital is accelerating this transformation as an engine of growth and also an accelerator of this energy transformation.
Got it. And just for members of the audience who might not know, define Scope 1 and Scope 2. So your indirect and your direct emissions.
Yeah. The focus that we are talking about, Scope 1 and Scope 2, is that we are reducing our own emissions, our own carbon footprint. And we are using for these new energy sources. For example, we are using renewables or green hydrogen. And it's important that we are also helping our customers. And we are helping in what is called the Scope 3 with other partners. And we are helping them to make sure that they are using this new clean energy. For example, again, green hydrogen or biofuel or renewables. So we are combining these different sources of clean energy to make sure that our customers are also reducing their own carbon footprint.
Yeah, so just tell us how the different forms of sustainable energy will fit into the mix as you build towards this 2030 goal. You've mentioned hydrogen, but how do you see the proportion of different types of energy fitting into this transformation?
I think that this is a great question. At the end of the day, the power is now in our customer side. It's the customer who decide their preferred mobility source. And we are helping customers with different options. If you're thinking about mobility, for example, we are offering new service stations with a new experience powered by digital, where they can choose, for example, to charge their electric vehicles with ultra-fast chargers, for example. But if you are talking about, for example, trucks, the opportunity, it's on green hydrogen. So depending on the type of customer, we're offering different sources. If you think in terms of air travel, the opportunity is on sustainable air fuel. So we are making sure that we are using renewables, green hydrogen, to empower these different options. It depends on the customer, and we are helping our customers. And digital is at the core of everything, making sure that we are orchestrating this ecosystem of clean energies using data and artificial intelligence to make this happen in a smarter way and helping and empowering also our customers with digital solutions.
Got it. And you mentioned like petrol stations and gas stations. Earlier on, you told me that Spain, 95% of car parks are not electric. How quickly are you going to be rolling out these renewable filling stations?
First, we are building new service stations, offering different solutions to our customers. We have just launched a new app called Go, where the customers can be empowered to access this electrical charger, for example. And we are offering new solutions, for example, the ultra-fast chargers. Nevertheless, we cannot do this alone, and in CEPSA we are collaborating with different public organizations to accelerate the path of the installation of these fast chargers for electric vehicles. So the offer that we are launching to the market includes fast chargers, new service, new experience, and empowering the customers also to enjoy this experience at the service stations with this Go app, for example.
Got it. And you've spoken a couple of times about the role of digital technologies and data. How are technologies like Internet of Things going to go beyond hype and buzzwords to something that's actually useful? What will the Internet of Things mean for the green energy transition?
Now, for us, it's key. I mean, we are making sure that we are building new digital native plants. We are talking about biofuel, for example. We are using these technologies, Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, to make sure that we are building new plants that are smart and empowering our employees to make sure that we are efficient in building this clean energy. We are making sure that we are connecting all the different assets, and we are empowering our people with this digital control intelligence, where we apply artificial intelligence to make sure that these are safe plants and really efficient plants, to make sure that we are building this ecosystem of clean energies in a right way. So this is important. And we are using also this same technology of Internet of Things to make sure that all the different energy parks are also efficient and reducing their own emissions, and making sure that we have also sustainable energy parks and even the service stations. So we are using this Internet of Things to make sure that data is at the core of everything that we are doing.
And what does it mean on a tangible level, Internet of Things, for you guys? Does this mean having sensors in different parts of your energy production field? Like, how does it actually work?
Yeah. We are making sure that we are, for example, we have launched a new IoT lab where we are testing different devices. And you can think that these devices can empower whether physical assets or even our colleagues, the different employees. Let's think that we can connect with smart devices and make sure that sensorizing the different elements of the plants or the service stations, we are using the right source of energy, for example, to make sure that we are in the right path of this decarbonization journey. Or, for example, we are using also wearables, testing wearables, to make sure that we are also empowering our employees in terms, for example, of safety in industrial environments. This is one of the areas of focus on these years, and we are looking for over 100 innovation partners to make sure that we are accelerating with data, IoT, and everything, these two elements, decarbonization and safety.
Got it. And for someone who doesn't know how an industrial power plant works, like, what are these inefficiencies that you need to solve? If you could just describe the problems that you're trying to address here.
So far, we are using, for example, renewable in whether the petrol, the service station, or the energy parks, and we need to make sure that we are orchestrating this source. Or, for example, we are using the green hydrogen in order to use in the new, for example, biofuel plants. So we need to make sure that we are orchestrating this. Or, for example, we need to make sure that we are coordinating the demand of these different energies with the production. Because at the end of the day, again, we are making sure that with data and digital solutions, we are orchestrating the demand of our customers, again, with different sources of clean energy, with our own ability to orchestrate the production.
Right, so it's about generating the right amount of power at the right time and sending it where it needs to go efficiently. And you mentioned hydrogen a couple of times as well. So how far off are we from seeing, a mass rollout of, hydrogen-powered, you said trucks earlier?
At the end of the day, we are making sure that we are offering these different types of energy, and green hydrogen is really important, both for our own production, again, with this idea of the scope 2. So we are using green hydrogen to make sure that we are empowering our own plants. And at the same time, we are making sure that we are using this ability and these capabilities to offer to the new transport customers. How far are we there? We are building these new digital native plants of green hydrogen and biofuel. And we are collaborating in this ecosystem with different partners to make sure that we can get there as soon as possible, because as I said, we have just a few years to make sure that we're impacting. But again, it's about collaborating with the ecosystem. We cannot do it alone. We need to make sure that we are orchestrating with different corporations here, with startups, to make sure that we are accelerating the pace. And also, we are collaborating with different public organizations, because we need to go together at this faster pace of the conversation.
Well, tell us about some of these partnerships, because you recently announced one with AWS, Amazon Web Servers. So what will that actually mean in terms of the work you're doing together?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, making sure that digital is an accelerator of this transition requires a joint effort. We cannot do it again alone. And for example, we are working with our key partners, for example, technology vendors such as AWS and Amazon Web Services. And we have been in a workshop in Seattle making a renewal of our agreement. And we are one of the leaders working with them in new decarbonization platforms. And this is an example that at the end of the day, we're not working alone. We are working with this partner. And again, we are using these data platforms of decarbonization to make sure that we are empowering our own teams, but also working with B2B clients to make sure that they are also benefiting for these data, artificial intelligence solutions, and helping on their own decarbonization journey. So data is using these twofold ways, helping our customers and helping our own efforts.
How do you see the sort of willingness to kind of engage in this issue? I guess let's compare big tech company like Amazon. I guess for a startup, it's harder to kind of, take expensive steps to become a sustainable energy partner with someone like yourself. How does it differ depending on the size of client?
I think that this is a good question. We have different levels of partnerships. You highlight the joint effort with AWS, but we are also working with corporations to make sure that we are working with them in order to help them to reduce their carbon footprint. We are working with academic partners also to include these efforts, including in terms of artificial intelligence. But for us, it's key working in the startups ecosystem. And that's why we are here talking with some of our colleagues in the environment, making sure that we are connecting with them. And the way to connect is making sure that we are building this, maybe sometimes just proof of concepts, MVPs, or making sure that we are building something meaningful to reduce the carbon footprint. So far, we have announced a new opening of 100 opportunities of collaboration with startups. Again, focus on two areas, decarbonization, IoT for safety, or something in the industrial environment. And with the Open Innovation team, we are collaborating to make sure that we are accelerating with their knowledge. And I think that this is a good way to get together and a win-win for all of us and keep on accelerating our joint effort. I think that this is a great opportunity for all of us to work together in this new big challenge, to be honest.
Yeah, and as you say, there's many startups here who might be interested in partnering with a person like Cepsa. What would be your advice to anyone who wants to know how they can, make their case that they're the right partner for you?
To be honest, I have been just with Cepsa for 8 months. I've been living in Silicon Valley for several years in a tech company. And I think that the key elements that we're seeing worldwide, you can apply here. It's about making sure that you have the right idea, the right vision, but you have the right way to accelerate our corporate efforts. So I think that with the right actions and making sure that we can work together, for example, in terms of building in a fast-paced, maybe a proof of concept, something that we can make sure that we can add value, a win-win with the startup, making sure that we can touch something meaningful. I think that this is the best way to build and escalate. I think that that's something that for us is really important. Start small, but then escalate, because we are building something really with a big impact in the world and the society, but we need to begin working. That's why with the Open Innovation team, we are making sure that we are building something meaningful and physical and a proof of concept, and something that we can make sure that we are showing to our teams and we can work together and we can use the different elements of escalation. I think that this is important. Start small and build something meaningful with us.
And what will these partnerships mean? Will you be connecting startups with, corporate clients, helping them to get into, different conversations with potential new customers? What will it actually mean?
We have different areas of opportunity. If you think in terms of decarbonization, we have different elements where we can add value in terms of the industrial efforts, making sure that data and artificial intelligence, IoT, we have been talking about, is empowering our industrial footprint, the energy parks and the new digital plants that we have been talking about. Maybe this is more internal. And then on the decarbonization side with the B2B partnerships, we can connect the startups in these different elements, blockchain, quantum computing, and everything, making sure that we are building this ecosystem with different corporations. And the good thing is that CEPSA can help all the startups to connect with these tech vendors, again, in the example you were highlighting on AWS, and also we can connect with different clients, because in CEPSA we work with different types of clients, bigger and smaller businesses, B2C, the customer. So we are able to connect with the broader ecosystem of business in the southern part of Europe, and we can work together in this ecosystem. I think that's the beauty of the fast pace that we are going through the green digital effort, joint effort.
Got it. And you've mentioned a couple of, exciting new technologies like Internet of Things and AI, but how do you see, some other kind of frontier technologies, quantum, blockchain? Let's start off with blockchain. How can that help this digital transition?
To be honest, in my past, I was working with different industries and financial services. They are more mature in terms of the usage of blockchain. But in terms of energy and this space of clean energies, there's a huge amount of opportunities and use cases for blockchain. For example, the first experience in a broader scale that we have, it's on the chemicals business. And we have been helping our clients in the chemical world to have the traceability, because at the end of the day, we are claiming, again, you were highlighting this at the beginning, we are claiming that we are offering to our customers a new soap, for example, that it's greener. And we need to make sure that this is not greenwashing. We need to make sure that you are using the right elements, the right source, the right technologies, and the traceability is a key element. And we have this first a case of usage of blockchain for traceability of the different materials that we are using, the technology and everything to make sure that we are doing the right thing. Quantum is different because the maturity is not that big. But for example, we have some conversation with some of the startups that maybe they are here today, and we are exploring the opportunity of quantum for accelerating this decarbonization journey. So different levels of maturity, but we are also realizing that combining some of these different technologies, we can accelerate the way that digital it's helping our clients and ourselves in the decarbonization journey.
Right, so early days for quantum, but where do you see that it could fit in?
At the end of the day, we are making sure that we have this huge amount of data, and we can accelerate our ability to generate smart advice to our customers in their journey and our own way of handling the industrial side of the business. So we are exploring different use cases with some startups right now, and we identified the key opportunities. Are we sure that we have the right use case? We are working on that. I think that maybe for blockchain is more mature. With quantum, we are exploring, but we are identifying this couple of areas of opportunity, industrial production and smart decarbonization, where I'm pretty sure that although we still need to keep on working together, we'll have a huge amount of efforts and results in the following months. But again, it's not the same level of maturity. We need to make sure that we are collaborating with the startups and the ecosystem to accelerate the different use case at the different levels of maturity of these technologies.
Okay, so still a bit of time to work out exactly how something like quantum can fit in. And you touched on, the fact that you were working in a tech company in Silicon Valley at Oracle. People, I think, on this side of the Atlantic often kind of idolize the sort of, the innovation mentality from Silicon Valley. What did you learn there that you're bringing back to Spain?
First, I would say that they have been working on this for almost 60 years, so we need to catch up. But on the second idea is that we are in the right pace. I mean, if you are talking with people here in this room, with people outside in the South Summit event, we are realizing that although maybe we are catching up with Silicon Valley, we have really a great ecosystem. I think that the point of difference and the opportunity, even for the venture capital in Silicon Valley, when they look at us, is that we are really able to first reimagine the world. We are creative. We are really working in new ways. I think that this innovative view of the world, I think that is a point of difference. And in our world, if you think that maybe in the southern part of Europe, CEPSA and in general Spain, we are able to build this green ecosystem because we are betting not just in the energy companies, but the startups are really focused on this. I think that we are in the world one of the fastest countries, and we are really investing a lot of effort in accelerating the impact. So I think that these are two good elements for us. And the third one for me, it should be the way we are collaborating. Although, to be honest, Silicon Valley is great. I mean, you have venture capital, you have the Stanford University, you have the tech companies, they are all together. But if you think about, for example, the South Summit and the ecosystem that we are building in different cities in Spain, I think that we have really building something meaningful. But we need to stay together. We need to keep on talking. We need to keep on building together. And as corporates in CEPS and other companies, we need to make sure that we are at the core of this transformation and that we are able to build this ecosystem together. I think that that's the key message for me. We need to keep on working together with the startups and also the public organizations. I think that that's the key of Silicon Valley. Public, private, big corporations, startups, academic, working together with the same goal. In our case, the goal that we are working towards is the decarbonization journey. I think that we can really join efforts. And the Silicon Valley way of building the ecosystem, I think that it's right for us and we are in the right place. And we want to really lead this green digital effort in Spain.
Yeah, and we haven't got much time left, but I just, you mentioned the need for, business and government to work together. And I think one thing that people have seen in Spain is recently there have been a lot of new solar startups, and this is partly to do with the context of the sun tax and some, quite questionable policy making from the previous government. What do you think, how big is that opportunity now? How much are you kind of seeing solar startups that you can work with, and how much are you building that yourself?
At the end of the day, again, if you're thinking about this huge ambition, even for us or for the society of decarbonization, the message, we cannot do it alone and we need to work together. If you think in terms of the opportunity for startups and corporations, it's huge. In our case, in CEPSA, we are investing 8,000 million in these clean energies and also the digital solutions for them. So the opportunity in our case it's really important, it's really big. I'm sure that different companies are working in different paces, and the opportunity for startups are huge. The message that I would like to share today is that we need to do it together. I think that that's a key message for me. Learning from Silicon Valley, coming back to your point, we need to do it together. We need to make sure that the startups are not working alone in silos. They're working together with us. We are also working with the academy. We are making sure that we are also investing in the scientific efforts. And I think that that's a message that South Summit summarizes also. We are in this together and we need to work together. I think that that's the message. You cannot do it alone. And in CEPSA, with the Open Innovation team, we are really focusing on accelerating our joint efforts because this is huge. I mean, to be honest, this is a great moment in history, in a great moment for transformation. But we need to work together. And that's why Open Innovation in our team, it's working that hard to looking for these 100 startups. And I'm sure that all the people that is here today, early morning in Madrid, in a rainy day, they're also focusing on accelerating and making an impact. I think that that's the good news for us. We are in this together and make sure that we are collaborating. And the public organizations, again, they are part of this joint effort.
All right, well, David, thank you very much. Thanks for being here early morning. Thanks for you guys, and give a big round of applause for David.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
Thanks.
Thank you.